it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm getting into the new e.l.f. Halo Glow products. We have a contour, blush, and highlight. These are the basically dupes to the Charlotte Tilbury wands. They also came out with a Halo Glow setting powder. And I picked up a bonus item that is part of their putty range, the luminous putty blush. So we're gonna try all of these shades. I also have the liquid filter from a couple months ago. Have that to look at as well. The only real comparison product that I have that compares to these tubes is the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. This is the Beauty Light wand. This is also called a beauty wand. So we can compare these two products. Let's get into it. Packaging. I mean, e.l.f. is a pretty drugstore brand. So we have this kind of packaging for the tubes here. This is the putty blush packaging, and then the setting powder comes in this. Now, as far as the shades go, for the highlight, I picked up Champagne. I got everything off Ulta.com. They started running out of shades, so I tried to pick the shades that I would normally. I think this is the lightest one. And then for the contour, this is Fair Light. I believe this is the lightest shade. For the blush, I don't think this was my top choice. This is Candlelit. It's peachy. Not a super peachy blush person, but that is what they had. And then for the setting powder, I got light pink, which we'll see how that goes. For the luminous putty blush, I got the shade Maui. So I already have my foundation and concealer and eyebrows on. I feel like every time I use this milk primer, Hydro Grip primer, I get a lot of pilling. And I think part of it is me, if I use a brush to blend in my foundation on top of that, it just makes things worse and pill up. Ooh, so I have been hesitant to reach for this because I've had my skincare on for over an hour. It's sunk in, so I don't think that's the issue. And I use the Chanel foundation. I feel like this should go together fine. So if the brush and the friction is causing that, I don't love that. Okay, so I don't have any powder on because I'm using all these liquid goodies. I'm gonna start out with the contour. And as I said, this is Fair Light, lightest shade. I started using these yesterday. Actually, let me show you the swatches before we get into application. I know I'm really excited. But here's the sponge tip applicator. Does it look dirty? Yes, that's why people are not a fan of these, because they get dirty and it's a challenge to clean them and they disintegrate. So that is that. At least you won't be spending a lot of money on these products compared to the Charlotte Tilbury. But I'll go ahead and put up the shades of everything. Let's get into application, starting with the contour. Since there's already product here, I'm not gonna squeeze anything out and see how it goes. This is a grayish brown tone, kind of what you want for a contour. Yeah, I did not need to squeeze any more out. I know when I did the swatch, I squeezed way too much. So application tip, barely squeeze and stuff will come out. Otherwise you have a whole bunch of products sitting at the top. I would recommend sort of cleaning this off before you put the top back on. So the top you twist on and off. It's not a pop on. And I'm going to use a brush to blend this in. So I noticed this when I tried this for the first time yesterday. The color's kind of there, but I feel like a lot of it brushed away. So it's kind of I don't know, a shadow of a color. It doesn't really seem to blend out. I'm just brushing it off, which is not like, what's the point? So let's try this again and use a smaller amount. And instead of using a brush, let's use some fingers. Get my hair in there. So yeah, I mean, obviously without a brush, you get some more color. It's not like contour needs to be like really noticeable. Actually, you don't want it to be noticeable, but somewhat, otherwise what's the point? So I would recommend a really light hand and maybe blend with a sponge or use your fingers like I did so that it doesn't brush away. I would say I don't love using my fingers because it's not all that blended in well. So yeah, I don't really like the application with this one. That doesn't, I feel like you should be able to use a brush to blend a liquid product, but that's just me. All right, let's move on to the blush. A liquid blush in a tube. You'd think it'd be good. Let's do Candlelight. This is kind of a peachy pink. Now in the swatch, it's pretty sheer, and you kind of expect that with a liquidy product. For me though, these kinds of products, if they're too sheer and they're all about shine, to me it's kind of a hybrid highlighter slash blush product. They don't really last long, and to me, like this color, it's like that's a lot of product. But for a, ooh, I just squeezed way too much out. There's not a lot of control with the squeeze thing. Okay, that's a ton of product. So something like this, I have a ton of product on my finger. Now my face is gonna be quite packed with the product on. So just doing it sheer like you normally would with the applicator, I couldn't really see a whole lot. Now I can see some more color. It's very shimmery. I mean, it's fine. What do you guys think? You digging it? It's not bad. It's very shimmery though. Like if you had some texture, I wouldn't want this all over my cheek. To me, this is like basically a highlighter bronzer. Like that's a blush. That's a lot of, you know, that's a thing. Almost basically a highlighter. And then the highlighter, Champagne, here we go. Got a lot going on, our Neapolitan ice cream effect here. That seems to glide on just fine, and I like the amount of product that it comes out. And let's see, you get a very natural looking glow out of that highlighter. I feel like this is the best performing product so far. Or maybe I just, the pigmentation and sheen is just more my style for a highlight. I don't know. I mean, I could definitely do more glow with a highlight. But there you have all three products on the cheeks. What do you guys think? So these are very conveniently sized, very small. So all of these are 10 milliliters. 10 milliliters of product. And we're looking at the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light one. 12 milliliters, you get a bit more. These are a lot more money though. So that is that. I'm not gonna try this today. I have a whole video. I have a short on the liquid filter, because we already have highlight on. I don't want to overdo it. But I do have this setting powder to try. That is a blush. So I picked the rosy pink shade, pinky rose, whatever. It comes in this sort of format here, where you twist to make sure the product comes out okay. So I tried to swatch this powder. Swatching loose powder is pretty difficult, but here's what it looks like. I'm going to use a big fluffy brush since this is a powder, a setting powder. I'm going to set my face with it. Now I don't really want to set all of that area that I just put a bunch of product on because I feel like it really cuts down on the shine that it's supposed to give. So I'm going to skip that area and set the rest of my face. I feel like, ooh, my foundation is not looking so good today. And that powder made things look a little worse on my forehead. You see that? It's like a spackling. Not good. Okay, I feel like that, I don't know. I'll keep trying this setting powder. I feel like this did not help the situation that is going on. Like, is this glowy? I can't even tell. Is this a glowy setting powder? I don't see a lot of glow. So I'm not quite getting the marketing, but okay. So I did buy another blush in Maui, the Luminous Putty. I probably should have left one side blank. This is the texture of the Putty blush. It's a little too slick for me. Like it's makes me a little bit afraid, but this is Maui. I'll just do this side on top of everything. Like this kind of pigment definitely I respond to because and it's pink and not peach. So I already like this product more than the blush wand, but I felt like this did not, I wore this yesterday, it did not last on me, but it's a cream blush. Mileage always varies with these. I feel like it's pretty, but not enough pigment. I kind of feel that way with all the products that I tried today. Like in theory, they're similar to Charlotte Tilbury. Now I only have the highlighter. Let's go ahead and compare. I didn't get the blushes that just came out from Charlotte. I didn't get the contour. But I've had this guy for a while. Mechanism for this one's a little different. There's like actually a stopper that you twist. This is an old product. This is an old guy, but the highlighter is much more pigmented, powerful. It's like an actual highlighter. It's a lot, I don't know, a lot is the right word, but it's a thicker formula as well. So that's the kind of shine that you get. Now let's go side by side with the e.l.f. product. You guys can see similar packaging. This one is more yellow. Thinner formula. It's actually not a bad shine comparison. At the end of the day, you'll probably be happy with this one. I think I like the highlighter the best out of all of the products I picked up anyway. I think it looked the best and performed the best. I didn't feel like it was that tricky, but I don't know. What do you guys think of these products? Would you pick them up? Let me know. All right, guys, here's a final look. I just added mascara. Here's my thoughts. I really don't think these are worth picking up, really, any of the products. I'm glad I tried them. I'm hoping this video is helpful for you. And I'm not saying that Charlotte Tilbury's products are worth it either. I think there's a lot of glowy type of options. There's so many blushes, so many liquid, cream, contours, blushes, highlighters, all of these products. There's so many options. You don't have to spend a lot. You can do better than what e.l.f. has offered here. I think they are, you know, becoming popular because they're somewhat of a decent dupe brand. I thought this product was a pretty close dupe. It's a thicker formula. It's not the color I want, but it's not a bad dupe. These, I feel like, miss the mark for the most part, and I'll go over them individually. And really miss the mark not as a dupe, but just in a general way as a makeup product. So I would skip all of this. And it's for second impressions on these. I mean, my makeup look is fine, but it's not what I would want my makeup to be, if that makes sense. So let's get into it. The contour, I feel like this is the worst product. You guys saw me put it on and blend it in with a brush, and it mostly got swept away with the brush. I feel like most liquid products, when you put it on, you can blend it right away. Otherwise, if you let it harden and dry, blending usually becomes more difficult. So I can't imagine that's what I'm supposed to do. With a finger, I feel like my face ate it up. I can't really see the contour. So where did it go? So this is not, it's very liquidy. It doesn't have the staying power that I need for a contour. I find it to be odd. Packaging's extremely messy with all of these. I hate that. Same with Charlotte Tilbury. I hate the packaging. I hate the sponge tip applicator. It's the worst. Like, don't make products like this. The blush, I also didn't love it. Even if this was a shade that I liked, it's so shimmery and so sheer. For a blush, most people, I don't know. I feel like super shimmery blushes are not popular. Maybe I'm wrong. A blush topper, maybe? Maybe you just want an overall peachy glow. That's interesting. Not for me. I really, also it's starting to disappear. The side has the other blush layered on top, so you can actually see a color. This just has a lot of reflection, not a lot of color in my opinion. Like, it's also not very pigmented and too sheer. But I put a good amount of product on my face. It's still very sheer. So that's the vibe, very sheer with this one. And then the highlight, if you really want to try something, this I feel like was the best product, and it's very natural. I know that it won't last all day because it's very sheer, but it gives a very pretty sparkle and it performed well enough. It's sheer, but it still did its job. So I would go with this one if you want to pick up something. Again, applicator, a mess. This guy, the putty blush, it's nice. Maybe it's worth trying one, see if you like it. It applies easily. I think it's a little bit too wet, I guess. I would want it to be a little bit drier, just because I feel like wet formulas don't last on the skin as much. And then yesterday, this did not really last on me. I think it's a pretty color. It's a little bit glowy. It is luminous though, so you should try the mattes if you prefer matte. This, I don't know, I wouldn't pick up again. It's too sheer. I know sheer works for a lot of people because you can build it up. I feel like you can't really build up these products that much. The setting powder, I wouldn't say it's very flattering on my face today. Is there something wrong with it? No, I wouldn't say it should be in the halo glow range. It doesn't seem very glowy to me, like not even in the slightest bit. But I will try this again on another day. Yeah, that's it for the video. Those are my thoughts. Mostly skip the collection. If you really like Charlotte Tilbury, I say you'll probably be happier in terms of pigmentation. These are a lot more impactful, I think. But you know, it's all an opinion. Let me know your thoughts below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.